You're listening to the Gopher Broke Pod. Today we're talking about the edge rushers and we're talking the Nebraska game. We got Nebraska back on the schedule and we got to get after it. So tap in, hit subscribe, and we're jumping in today. What up? It's your boy Kane, Rob, and Tristyn Spann-Ford here with the Gopher Broke Podcast. We're coming at you once a week, every week, talking some Gophers football. Now, the summer schedule, we've been trying to keep on, but there's always a little bit of fluctuations. We got to gear up now, so we have an excuse to get away in the actual season. But we're glad you're tapped in. Be sure to follow wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Pods. You should find it all there. Leave a 5-star review and hit us over on YouTube and drop some comments. Let's get the chats going because as we get those going, once we hit the season, it is going to be a blast. But Tristyn, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, it feels crazy that it is past the 4th of July. We're within 50 days of the season. I can't wait. I can feel, I don't want to wish away summer. I talk about it all the time, but I can feel the cold breeze coming in. I can hear the leaves rustling. I'm always ready for football season. I could always go for some football.
I feel you. I think we're actually officially 7 weeks away. 7 weeks, and we will be in game week. So that is just crazy to think about. You got any good gripes for me? You got anything going on that you just got to get off your chest? This is your weekly venting session right here, right now.
Honestly, life is pretty good right now. Life is good. We're planning a birthday party for the boys. So there's a ton of work to be done that I didn't know about. Like, I'm thinking we blow up some balloons. We get a cake. That's a birthday party. But the trees need to be trimmed. The lawn needs to be mowed. And these are all essential things that a party cannot happen without these things to be happening. So there's a lot of projects going around at our house, but that's all right. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited. The kids will definitely remember the tree trimming. My wife's in the room next door, so she can just hear me right now. I'm getting it off my chest right now.
He's getting the venting off so that way he doesn't have to hear the what did you just say? Because she knows we're recording, so she's like, you know what? I'm bite my lip, and the second we hit on stop, boy, you in trouble. She's right. She's right though, because you don't want to be sitting in that birthday party hearing, man, those branches getting a little long. I almost got smacked in the face with one of the branches. Maybe you should trim some of those, because if you got that type of comment, then all of a sudden you're like, man, did he for real just say that to me right now?
It's exactly what would happen. It's exactly it. Well, it would just give me the death stare. So we're just going to take care of everything. All the projects, we're going to get them all done. We'll get them all done.
All of them done, and hopefully you get them done ahead of time, because I'm one of them folks that's like, yep, we're going to get it all done, and I'm still doing it the morning of, just still tying the loose ends up, but it gets done by party time. It might be right by party time, but it'll be done.
It'll be done. That's the thing. You have to let it sit for a while. Let the project sit just in case it decides to do itself. You give it all the time it needs to maybe do it itself, and then at the last second, take care of it.
I feel you. I love that mindset. All right, we're going to shift it over, though. We're going to hit the Gophers talk. We got to kick it off with the Chat GPT question. I feel like Chat GPT needs to be a sponsor of the podcast. Now, I don't think Chat GPT has the money they're just throwing around to sponsor podcasts, because they're investing in the things that matter with their stuff. But if they ever want to do it, I'm not going to be mad at it. But the question, the question to kick off this one is, Goldie Gopher just got a TikTok. What's their first viral video?
Oh, it's going to be something to with the head spin. It's going to be the head spin. And that's going to be the trending thing is everyone's going to find a way to do the head spin. I don't know how. I don't know if they're just putting hats on and but that's what it's got to be.
No, I got you. It's him, and he's locked in. He's tapped in, about to do the head spin. And all of a sudden, as he's doing it, epic fail, the head pops off. The secret is blown. And the very first video of Goldie Gopher is his identity reveal.
I don't know if that would be a good omen or a bad omen on the season.
That's fair. And it's
Oh,
PJ Fleck under the O. It was
yes,
intentional.
Fleck.
It's PJ
There we
Fleck
go.
under the. There we
See,
go.
that's
There we go.
content right there. That's content. Somebody call the marketing team.
Hey, bet this is off the cuff, but speaking of PJ Fleck, shout out to him. He got an extension through 2030. Now, this is a kind of a weird extension in my brain, only because the buyout number went down, even though they extended further. Usually when you extend, you raise the buyout because you want to be able to hopefully maintain longer or like make it harder for him to get bought out. I thought that one little factor of it was a little bit weird that the buyout went down a little bit. I think overall it went up slightly, but it's because they added years to it. But the overall total like is down in some across. I don't know. I thought it was a little weird. I talked to a couple other Gophers media members and they're like, yeah, interesting to say the least, but regardless, PJ Fleck is locked in and he gets a bonus if he stays. Every year he decides to stay, he gets paid. So, I mean, it's a win-win for PJ. Congratulations.
I love it. I mean, I do when I saw the news. Is PJ Fleck the most extended coach of all time? It feels like he's been extended every single season that he has been here. As every single year, I feel, PJ Fleck extended.
Right.
Like I don't know how, but as far as like extending him goes, I don't hate it. I mean, this
Right.
is his program. He's turned this whole thing around. He's made this enjoyable to watch. So I think it was definitely warranted. So
Doug, I'm with you
good for
100%,
him.
and I am not mad at it. Like, I saw some
No.
folks on the On3 post, like, tweeting it out. A bunch of Ohio
Mm.
State fans were like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the most mid extension. I'm like, oh, it must be nice. It must be nice being Ohio State, where you get whatever you want, and whoever coach you pick is going to be born on third base because you got all these Heisman candidates coming. Like,
Oh,
boy, knock that off. If you looked at Minnesota before PJ Fleck came here, I think we had like two 9-win seasons since like the 1920s, 1911s. We had two between 19 something and in 2016. And PJ Fleck has 3 of them already in his going on 9 years. Hell, we should have 4 of them with last
yep.
year if you give us a North Carolina missed field goal, crazy ending. If you give us an incorrect call, Michigan onside kick. If you give us one stop in Penn State, 1 point. And that's not even bringing up Rutgers. That's not even bringing, like, look, we were 1 game away from having that before last season. There's a case you could have a strong point. They could get it again this year. Like, dog, this isn't what Minnesota was doing before. So I don't understand how you can even get confused or question why they would extend him right now.
That's hilarious because I was looking at that exact same post, the On3 post, and I was doing the same thing in the comments just to see how other people react. And it was like 4 or 5 Ohio State dudes in there, like, for what? Why? I'm like, yeah, losing 1 game a year must be rough, a rough life, man.
Right. And they'll be like, oh, I guess like winning 9 games is great at Minnesota. Like, dog, get over yourself. I get that Ohio State is good, but guess what? For how damn good you are, you sure don't have a lot of natties like Alabama or like Georgia. So don't come at us because we're trying to win games. Come on
Like,
now.
it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like you cannot argue with me that PJ Fleck is not a good coach. You can dislike his personality. He's a polarizing guy, but you can't argue that he's a bad football coach. It doesn't know what he's doing or can't run a program. The
Or
players love
establish
him.
a culture. I mean, we haven't had any issues
Yeah.
since he has been here. Like,
We've had one player who has verbally come out and been like, I didn't like PJ Fleck on Twitter one random night. But that was just right before the season. Somebody had to talk shit about PJ Fleck. That's just how the season starts.
Right, that and then your annual anonymous hit piece where supposed players have come out, and then every time players, their family members, old former recruits, current commits are all like, "Bro, this is some bullshit." Like, what are y'all talking about?
And
Every time.
some guy who's played 2 snaps of football.
That's how you know when the football season has started, is when that PJ Fleck hit piece comes out. So I'm sure it's coming soon. I'm sure we're going to be on this show chopping it up, talking about PJ Fleck and why Forget About You, I Love Me, aka the family acronym, is just such a terrible thing. He told me to forget about myself and love my teammates. Who does that? Like, can't make that shit up.
It's crazy. It's crazy. PJ's a good coach. He's a nice guy. Every time I see him, he is a very nice guy. He'll remember your name. Good dude. Good dude.
For sure. Last thing I will say, Ohio State fans, look, I try to cheer for Big Ten schools once the Gophers are out of it, but you are
Hmm.
giving me so many reasons to not cheer for you. First, you steal Phillip Daniels, then you're out here talking shit on PJ Flex extension. Stop the madness.
Just let it live. I could never. Imagine winning a national championship and then still being bitter towards other programs. Like
You know
that's
what I got to
crazy.
say? You know what I got to say? Mic drop moment and we'll move on. Is beat Michigan, okay? Beat
Yeah.
Michigan because y'all dropped like four straight. But anyways, let's get into the edge rushers. Let's talk about who is going to be on the edge this year because Danny Strigow gone, and
Ooh.
Jaw Joyner gone. So we've got some things to step up, but we do have starters. Anthony Smith, Anthony Smith will be a starter, but I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know who else is going to for sure start beyond that. Now, my guess is your boy Jackson Howard. I think he's going to be in that Danny Strigow role. But how are you feeling about the edge rushers? What are your quick thoughts there before I dive in deep?
That was my biggest thing. Is I would love a Jackson Howard monster year. Now that's not to take anything even from Lucas Finney. Is it Finney or
Mhm.
Finney?
I think it's
Finney?
Tennessee. Yep.
Finney. Like Hennessy, but Finney.
Hey, Lucas Hennessy from now on.
But no, not to take anything away. I think he's been here for a while, and I think he's good. But I would just love to see Jackson Howard step up into the starting role as a redshirt sophomore, and to have hopefully 2 more years, and before going to the league, if he can ascend to that after all the hype of him coming out of high school. I think it would be awesome, especially like he's back home now. Like it would just a great story. I would be super happy to see that. Other than that, Anthony Smith. I think Anthony Smith is going to be. I think he might be a dog
Dog,
this year. I think he
dog.
might be a all time like an all Big Ten player this year. So
Oh, I'm with you.
easy, yeah, yeah.
I'm with you. All right, so yes, I'm with you. Those are my two, I think, starters here. Anthony Smith, best edge rusher with the most production on this team coming back. He has been progressing year over year, which is great, but now is his time to shine. There's been scouts asking PJ about Anthony Smith since he was a true freshman on campus, like, "Oh, who's that dude?" And he's like, "Yeah, hands off. We got 3 years of this bad boy
Don't worry about him.
before you can even sniff around. So back away." And I respect it. But this year is going to be the massive year. Phil Steele, who has a huge college football magazine he drops every year ahead of the season, has him as a fourth team All Big Ten. He ranks four Big Ten teams. That's disrespectful for me.
Yep.
I think he's third, top three teams for sure. And I think that's going to conclude that way at the end of the season as well. But last year, 11 and a half tackles for loss and a team lead or a tied team lead of 6 sacks. And that wasn't a shared workload capacity where he wasn't a starter. You got the keys. You are the starter. You are him. This is your defense. You are the one that is leading the charge now. So you talk about 11 and a half tackles for loss and 6 sacks, plus a pass breakup, plus a forced fumble, plus a blocked field goal. I think those numbers are ticking up with Anthony Smith, and I cannot wait to see him do it.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think he's going to be he's got a bed to him. Like he's so good. Like it wasn't like that's like when I was reading over his stats the same way too. I was like, and that was not even he's splitting the workload. The same
Right.
like you just said, you hit the nail on the head. Like I think he's going to be a monster this year.
Yeah, you had two guys fighting for NFL rosters in front of you, and
Mhm.
like tough. But now it's your time. And then yeah, Jackson Howard. He didn't grade great in his snaps last year, but he was still learning an entirely new defense last year. He came from LSU, moved over to the Minnesota defense. Definitely different stylistically overall. So he was trying to get up to speed as fast as possible because he didn't have the early enrollee with us last year either. I think he came in the summer. So it
Mhm.
was like last year was his first run. Now he's had an entire year to be with the program, learn the culture, learn the system. His defensive line coach left, but the coach he's working with was there alongside Coach Debo last year. So I think he's going to have a smoother transition. He had 125 snaps last year while learning the defense on the fly. And now that I think he's developed a bit more, that, like you said, he could pop off and show that 4-star capability. So I'm excited about him. Hennessy, is I think he could push Jackson Howard for that role. If Jackson Howard
Oh yeah.
isn't ready out of the gates, I think that you could have Finney in that role. He graded better last year on PFF. He played more snaps last year, only by like 35, but he's shown flashes in the last fall camp. He's shown flashes this past spring. So, like, if he's a rotational guy for you, you can have some trust in him on the field. I'm just hoping he's not the starter per se because I think Jackson Howard's upside is a little bit bigger. And then the last two people I have listed in the rotation are transfer guys. Steven Curtis, coming from, I think it was Illinois State. He
Yep.
played 25 games, 54 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 pass breakups, 1 interception, and most of that happened last season. He was an edge, but I still feel like he was a bit behind in the spring just from what I could see, and he was definitely more of a rotational guy and not an immediate impact starter, at least at the time. So I don't know how much of a role he has. I don't know what ways he'll contribute, but I do think he will contribute in some manner. Luckily, he has 2 years of eligibility left, so hopefully, even if it's a slower start this year, he could really pop off the next year. And then the other one to bring up, Rushawn Lawrence. I think the upside is high, the production was high, but he was at an FCS school. Now, we saw Max Brosmer ball out from an FCS school, but we'll see if Rushawn Lawrence does the same. The only thing that scares me is seeing him in the spring. He looked very small compared to like a
Oh,
Devin Eastern or like Jalen Logan Redding, and I'm like, yo, because this dude was an FCS All American. Like that, you can't you can't just become an FC. Like
yeah.
you got to
That's
have
not an
some dog in
accident.
you. Right, right.
Yeah.
He did stuff. So I think he can produce. I also think he could move inside. He could play outside. So I don't know what the Gophers are going to do with him. But overall, 71 tackles, 15 and a half tackles for loss, 9 sacks, 1 interception, 2 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles. And again, most of that coming last year. So he has it in him. I am just hoping it translates at the Big Ten level.
I was gonna say I have him. I had him on the depth chart I was looking at. It had him as a D tackle, so I didn't have
Yeah,
him
I think
necessarily
he
on this
will.
list.
I think he'll definitely
Go.
flip. I have him on both of my notes for both when
Okay.
we talk about D tackles too. But
Yeah. No. And again, like Steven Curtis, I didn't have a ton on him. Just that it's nice that he's only a junior.
yeah,
So if he he's obviously like looking at the room like we're gonna have rotation. Like all these guys are probably gonna see the field and said that's a battle of a position. Like to be a dog is crazy. Steven Curtis, 2 first names. I also just had that written down. So that's important.
One name to keep an eye on, he could sneak his way into the rotation depending on how he's been developing over the last 2 years, is Carter Menz. He's from North Dakota. He was the best player in North Dakota, I think, at the time. I could be wrong on that one, but he's always had the upside. He has the speed. He's a little skinnier, but like if he puts on some muscle and some weight over these last 2 years, I haven't really seen him too much. If he did that, I think he can find himself into the rotation. But of the 6 names that we've just talked about, I definitely think he's at the bottom of those 6.
Yeah, that's what I had him written down at the edge. But being so young, I mean, it's going to be tough if he's still that small, but if he can get some weight on him, like you said, like that would be great to get him in the rotation. We talk about it all the time, like seeing these younger guys at least, seeing the field a little bit to, know we have a guy going into his junior year. So it'd be nice to see him a little bit.
For sure, for sure. I'm with you 100%. And then the last couple names I'll bring up as depth are Adam Kasai and Sam Macy. Now, I don't know if they see the field this year. They might be future years. Sam Macy, I don't know too much about. Adam Kasai, I'm really intrigued by. He was a baller in high school, had a ton of high potential, and the bro is 6'8". He's 6'8". He is huge. He was a stand-up edge rusher when I saw him in the spring. He is very
Wow.
skinny. Very skinny. So he's got to put some
What
meat on the bones.
what coach let him be a stand-up end at 6'8"?
Right.
Like, what are you
Yeah.
going to leverage? I'd have been like, you playing on him a 4-point, buddy.
Yeah, so he's got to get some strength and some weight in, but he is a no, he's a redshirt freshman this year. Last year he came in as a true freshman. He actually started with Clemson. It was his dream school. He committed to Minnesota, decommitted, then he went to Clemson because it was his dream school. I didn't blame him. I was like, all right, dream school, go get it. went into their early enrollee spring, did the whole spring, hit the transfer portal, and went back to the Gophers. So he is now with the Gophers. He was with us the entire year last year, learning the program behind the scenes. 6'8". I think he's got a ton of upside. Again, I don't think it's this year, but say Anthony Smith goes off to the NFL or something like that. I think Adam Kasai could be one of those guys that, like, you want to remember his name now because maybe a year from now, 2026 season, we're like, dang, this dude, it clicked. He put the weight on. He's huge. He's quick. He's fast. He gets off the edge. He's coming at you like an animal. Like, Adam Kasai is a name to know there.
That's a great last name. Great last name. So
Yes.
you should remember it.
All right. And then the last two players I will bring up, likely red shirts, so I didn't dive in too deep. Rhett Halavaka. Pretty sure I said it wrong. Luckily, I will go to the Gophers website eventually because you can listen to them say their names. So we'll use that cheat sheet. The next one I'm also going to butcher, and it's Enoch Atewagbola. So
got it. First try.
Aced it. First try. So both those guys likely red shirts, but I do think they can be impact players moving forward beyond this season.
Love that.
All right. So let's talk about, do you have any sleepers, any predictions, any breakouts in this defensive edge room?
Breakout, we kind of talked about it already. Jackson Howard. I think even like just his whole story kind of sounds similar to Adam Kasai. Like, you know, goes to LSU, not really for him, doesn't really see the field, comes back home. He was just so, I don't know if it's just the time that I was, you know, started following. It was so hyped up. Like, the dude had a zillion offers, like literally a zillion offers. And he posted about it every single time he got it.
All the time.
Every time. His dad would post all of it.
He was one of those dudes with the picture and it had like 80 logos all over.
It was literally, it would have been easier if he would have posted the schools that didn't offer him. It would have been much easier to decide.
That's so true.
It was crazy. But I mean, he has the potential, and I think he has the skill set to do it. I mean, so he's a 4-star. I think it could be a huge year for him. So he's my breakout pick.
Breakout, I don't have. Sleeper, I have either Rhett Halavaka, again, I'll get it right eventually, or Adam Kasai. I think I'm going to be a year too early with them, but I think they will be impact players in a season from now. But otherwise,
you're a year early, though.
Yeah.
You're a year early.
When I'm a year early. Hey, I've been cooking when I'm a year early. If I'm telling you I think I'm going to be a year early, just know it's coming.
Yeah, go ahead and order the jersey now, people. Order the jersey now.
All right, but predictions-wise, I said this is the year Jackson Howard pops off. Lucas Finney is going to see some critical snaps. And then I also said I'm not as high on the new transfer additions, but I truly hope that they prove me wrong. So we'll see on that front. But let's kick it to the rest of the Big Ten. Any names that you are intrigued by? Any names that stood out? Or are you just like, yo, spit your top 10. I'm done with this DM.
Oh, brother. No. The list that I wrote down is mostly just because of their names. Because it's hard to know. It's hard to know. So I'm just, what I circled mostly is Oregon.
Okay.
Listen to these names on the Oregon's D-line.
Yep.
Bear Alexander.
Yep.
Great name. Name. Mateo Ugalele.
Yep, I got that one right. I know that one.
Yep. That one's. And then Tetum Tuioti.
Aced it.
Those are monster names. That's a great. That could be the best D line in the conference.
I just want to,
based on names alone.
Can you just think about? I think we need to give the man a raise. Whoever Oregon's home field announcer is, they need to increase his pay immediately because you know that his job is 10 times harder than whatever the Gophers announcer is doing.
They get all the these Highlanders playing over there, like them at UCLA. Like those guys need all the money
simply because of where they're at and the recruits they bring in. They need to be paid more because those names are just waiting to catch you off guard. Like, it's crazy. I love it. I love it so much.
Oh, no, I had them. And then Penn State, I think I have. Well, one of them's a D tackle. Zane Durant's a D tackle. Mm-hmm. But then Danny Dennis Sutton. Mm-hmm. Danny Dennis Sutton. He's a DN for Penn State too, but I think Penn State probably going to have a good defensive line as well.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Overall, you're naming some names that are in my top 10, so we're going to get over
Love
to
that.
that
Look at
here
me.
in
Look at me
just
go.
a second. I just want to look at one thing. Nope, it isn't. Okay, cool. I was about to just pull something completely out of left field and say absolutely incorrect, false atrocities, so I'm not going to do that. My top 10 defensive edge rushers in the Big Ten. These are individuals, not the lines themselves. Number one, I've got Mikhail Kamara from Indiana. Dude was a second team All American last year by the Athletic. He was a first team All Big Ten player. He was a finalist for the Lott Impact Trophy and the Chuck Bednarik Award. So, dude's a dog. I'm not going to take anything
Was
away
he
from
a
him.
JMU guy?
Yeah, I think so. I think he
Yeah.
followed from there. Yes, it says he led the FCS edges with 67 pressures and 28 combined sacks prior to coming over this year. Or the year before. So I
28.
think he was in JMU.
Yeah.
Uh, Second one, Mateo Uangalele from Oregon,
Yeah.
brother of DJ Uangalele, the
I was
quarterback.
thinking.
Yep, yep.
Look
Uh,
it up.
he's a dog. He was a first team All Big Ten last year by the media. He had a sack in 9 games last year, or at least one sack in 9 games. He had two multi-sack games. The dude's a dog, and he's only getting better. I think he's going to be a junior this year, so he's still.
Mm,
This is finally when he's actually NFL eligible now. So
that's
I think
crazy.
it's just going up for him. Number three, I've got your boy. I don't know if it's Deny or Danny Dennis Sutton, but I think he is
Ah,
going to be a monster. You know, Penn State always churns out
yeah.
some edge rushers that are some freaks. You got,
Probably wearing number 11. Probably
yeah,
gonna have
yeah.
11 this year.
He was 33 last year, so we'll see if he switches it up or not. But
Now he's got it.
overall, he had 4.5 sacks and 16 tackles in Penn State's playoff games last year. That was just in his playoff games. He had 4.5 sacks and 16 tackles. So this dude is a monster, 6'5", 265 pounds. I think he's top three. And if you don't have him in your top three, you haven't been paying attention because Penn State is a defensive end
Yeah.
factory.
That's all they do. All they do is crank out DNs.
Number four for me is Gabe Jacas from Illinois. He was on that nasty Illinois D line just like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. He was
Yep.
playing as like a freshman or a sophomore and producing. Then last year he was a dog, and now this year he's gonna be a dog. So I'm just like, yep, put him in the top five, easy money. Like I don't even need to look too hard on that one. Now this one threw me off. Number five, Eric O'Neill at Rutgers, and I could not tell you what Eric O'Neill did. I could not tell you how good Eric O'Neill is, but PFF, I'm going to listen to him on this one. They have him as the highest graded returning edge rusher in the Big Ten, graded at a 90.5. And look, I'm going to believe it because he's ahead of some Kamara, who we listed at number one when
Yep.
it comes to PFF grade. Look, all right, bet. Put him in the top five. I can't have him outside of that. And I think that he's going to continue to have some impact for Rutgers, who obviously has a need for some defensive help overall. So I think Rutgers is going to stand out with him. There's another guy from Rutgers who grades in the top 6 of returning edge rushers named Bradley Weaver. He's number 10. I'm going to just tease that now for me. So overall, they have 2 edge rushers, and we have Rutgers at home as our first Big Ten game. So don't overlook
Yeah.
Rutgers. I'm already telling
Nope.
you right now, the edge rushers are going to be after our boy Drake Lindsay. And hopefully he's learned a lot from Max Brosmer in the first place. And secondly, the first 3 games, hopefully you got in your groove because Rutgers is going to be on that ass.
That's tough. That's tough. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. No, that's a win. I got that as a win on the schedule. So
All right. So then next up, I have number 6, Derek Moore from Michigan. He was on that nasty Michigan team that won the Natty, and then he didn't play very much. He got some time. Then last year he got to be a starter and he was an absolute dog. And now they've lost even more guys to the NFL from that defense, and he is the name on that defense. So I think overall Derek Moore is going to be like, look, I'm going to show y'all why we keep doing this thing. We keep turning NFL guys out from this defense, and I think he's going to keep that standard going. Number 7, I've got Ethan Herkett. Herkett, one of the two, he's a dog. He graded out as an 82.6 last season. He is one of those top 6 coming back as well. And overall, I think they said no, I'm not even going to try to look for that right now. Oh, here it is. 56 tackles. He had 11 and a half tackles for loss and 6.5 sacks last season. So he was real nice. He was
Yeah,
productive, and Iowa does defense. So, like, I'll give it to him.
it's because they needed to win games.
Then we're going to flip it to our boy Anthony Smith at number 8 for me on the top 10 edge rushers.
Love
I
it.
think he could finish higher, but I wasn't going to be a homer on this one. I had to keep him on the list, but we'll put him at 8, and hopefully he earns it even higher. And then number 9, Max Llewellyn from Iowa. So Iowa's got 2 on here, Rutgers got 2 on here, and that is it for the double downs. But then you've got the top dudes, Kamara, who was an All-American, Uangalele, who was a dog, and denied Dennis Sutton, Penn State boy, as the top 3. Let me know your thoughts on my top 10 in the comments below, but we're going to wrap this show up talking about Nebraska. Now, this is like a rivalry, not rivalry. How do you consider it? Do you think it's a rivalry? Do you think it's not a rivalry? You think it's a, what would you call it?
I don't know. It's Minnesota is every like conference game we play feels like a rivalry. I think it's just because of the age of our program. Like we're so old. Like how many of these teams have played each other for 100+ years, and we're one of them. So I think that's why every game feels like a rivalry. It also feels like a rivalry at Nebraska just because they haven't been that good in like 20 years, but all their fans
won't shut the hell up.
Yeah, their fans think that it's still the 90s. Like they still are watching the 90s Nebraska football team, which is fine. If I was a Nebraska fan at that time, I would probably feel the same way because they were awesome. Like they were insane. But it has been 20 years, 30 years since the 90s.
Hot minute.
So it is just not the case anymore. But the Gophers have been down. So like I feel like we've gone back and forth a little bit, but PJ just owns Scott Frost, and Matt Rule still is just doing Matt Rule things.
0-1. Matt Rule is 0-1 right now. That's all I got to say.
That's it. I mean, yeah. So I mean, I guess yes, it's a rivalry. It's a rivalry. We can call it a rivalry. Let's do it.
Here's my thing. I think it is a rivalry with the not hatred, but like disdain from the diehard fans back and forth. I feel like if you ask casual fans, they're like, oh, I think Nebraska's fine, or I think Nebraska casual fans would be like, oh, I think Minnesota's fine. But if you get to the diehards, you got Nebraska fans that are like, I hate PJ. He's terrible. He's horrible. He sucks, blah, blah, blah. And you get to Minnesota fans and they're like, Nebraska thinks they're a blue blood, and they're not. And they haven't won crap since who knows when. And they still think they're great, but they're not. Like, those are what the diehards are saying. So I think it's like a fan base rivalry, but when you're talking about on the field, I'm just not there. And the reason I'm going to say I'm not there is because they don't play every year either. I think your diehard rivalries, you are playing every year. Iowa, every year. Wisconsin, every year. Now, I would argue Michigan is a rival, but it doesn't necessarily feel like those other two because that hasn't been competitive in quite some time, unfortunately, and it cuts deep. But overall, I think those are two rivals. Everything else is like era rivalries. Like for 5 years, it feels like a rivalry, but it's not the long-term history of it all. So I feel you on that one. Right now, it just feels hot because the fan bases have gone back and forth, and they've both had some ups and downs and what have you.
No, I think that was a perfect way of putting it. Like if you were to say you only have 2 rivals in your conference, which I think every team right away would have those 2 teams, Nebraska would not be one of it. It wouldn't, maybe a close third, maybe, maybe third or fourth. But yeah, I think you're right. But it's just not, the hatred's not there. The hatred's not there.
Yeah. Especially on the field. There's
too much mutual respect on the field.
I mean, even PJ and Matt Rule are like, oh, yeah, that's my dog. Like, yeah, Matt Rule, we chop it up in the offseason. Like, that's my boy. We going to grab beers after this. Like,
I want them sneak dissing each other in press conferences. That's
they
what
don't.
That's what shows
all they
I know,
do,
they're boys.
all they do is, oh yeah, I got so much respect for PJ and his program, and he's got a great culture. And then PJ, Matt Rule, he knows how to build a program. I love talking with him, but like it's like, bro, this is Exactly why it's not a rivalry. Because you
Yep.
got Kirk Ferentz and PJ Fleck. You know, there's little subtle things in them press conferences like, yeah, it's not the way I would do something, but blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or
Yeah,
even
that's what I
Fickle
like.
and PJ. And they're like, oh yeah, you know all this negative recruiting, and they're trying to take our recruits over here, trying to negative recruit us, and but like they throw subtle
Yep.
digs at each other,
Yep.
and they know it. That does not happen between Minnesota and Minnesota and Nebraska, and thus it is not a actual rivalry. But I love the chair game. I love the charity donations that come with
Yep.
that matchup. I think it's awesome. We'll definitely plug it here during that week. But let's talk about Nebraska overall. How are you feeling about this team, this matchup? Anything that scares you? Anything that gives you comfort? Are you sleeping easy for this one? How are you feeling?
I'm not sleeping easy for this one. I'm nervous about this because of where it falls in the schedule. This
Mm.
is a tough lull in the schedule, and they're kind of in that's a nice little spot to get us at. They got Northwestern after us. Like, it is a dangerous spot for us to play them, a dangerous time for us to play them. And I do think they're going to be better. I think they're going to be better than they were last year because I think everyone had a bad taste in their mouth of how their season went last year. And I don't know. I don't know about the transfers in, the transfers out. And I know you've talked about Dylan Raiola maybe better. We'll see. We'll see if he's going to be better. He's still going to be a weirdie, but it's just he was good. He was good to start off that season. The season last year, he looked very good. Like, they were not losing games because of him. Towards the end of the season, it was where it kind of started to look like, okay, maybe we did a little too much social media stuff. Like, maybe we gotta focus on ball a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you 100% on the Nebraska front of not feeling comfortable with this game. Not saying that I don't think Minnesota can win it, but
Oh,
I
I
think
mean,
that
it's a
the
W.
position that it's in is definitely a tough one for Minnesota. And on top of that, bro, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Matt Rule in year 3 of coaching has balled out in 2 different programs, and this is year 3. Now, heading into year 3, with Temple, he had 2 wins year 1, 6 wins year 2, 10 wins in year 3 and 4. Then he goes to Baylor, 1 win year 1, 7 wins year 2, 11 wins year 3. Now, Nebraska, 5 wins year 1, the best year 1 he's ever had with any of his 3 college programs. 7 wins year 2, tied for the best second year that he's had with any of his programs. Bro, Nebraska, if he keeps that trend up, if he gets his year 3, he hit 10 wins and 11 wins at those other 2 programs. If he ruffles in a 10 or 11 win season with Nebraska and they're on the cusp of playoff talk, bro, they're going to build
Yeah.
the statue right away. They're going to build the statue. And on top of that, this is probably the most talented quarterback he has ever had with one of his programs. This is probably the best fan base and home field advantage he's ever had with any of his programs.
Oh
And their
yeah.
defense is solid as hell. Their defense, I was worried. I thought last year they were going to have a tough year because they lost Tony White, I believe it was their defensive coordinator. Thought it was going to be tough because he was a dog. The 3-3-5 gave people just absolute
Fits.
havoc.
Yeah.
Yep. No, they brought in John Butler last year, had a 65th pass defense, which is still in the top half of the country. 8th in rush defense, 17th in scoring defense, 18th in total defense. Like, they were up there for defense still. Now, they didn't get many sacks. They were 45th in total sacks, but still pretty good, top 50. And then they were tied for 67th in turnovers gained. So overall, like, their defense was rock solid. So you have a rock solid defense, a coach who's good at building programs in the long term, and a fan base that is rabid for success right now. It all comes down to Dylan Raiola. Now, I told you I put him as my second quarterback at the
Hmm.
end of the year for the top tens. And I said, people are probably going to give me crap for this and they're probably going to crap on me. Look, if Nebraska wins an 11 win season, you better believe Dylan Raiola is balling the season. Like, so I think that right now those odds feel really in my favor. The only thing is, can he cut down on the turnovers? He had 13 touchdowns last year to 11 interceptions. Now, in the back half of the year, they brought in a new offensive coordinator, Dana Holgerson, and when he came on board, Dylan Raiola passed for over 70% in 3 of the 4 games that he was the offensive coordinator. He had 898 yards in those 4 games. So basically, in 4 games, he had almost 1,000 yards passing. But the thing was 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So he has to clean up those interceptions. If he does that, Nebraska is truly going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think that all that does have me pretty nervous. I do think they're gonna be a lot better. I do have a couple questions for you. Question though, if if Nebraska say like they start the season like 1-4, is Matt Rule on the hot seat already? Then
No.
you don't think
Yeah,
so?
bro, he got him a bowl game last year. Like they're like,
Yeah, that's
we
true.
haven't had a bowl game in like 7 years. Matt,
Okay.
like, no, I think that they're locked in with Rule for sure, and I do not think they'll start 1-4. I'm gonna pull up their schedule just to see what it
Do
is.
you also think Matt Rule, when he first got there, was kind of like, "Whoa, look at how big this crowd is from coming from the Panthers"? Did you think? Do you think like he was nervous, like he had to turn his headset up a little bit because he wasn't
No,
used to it?
I think he was like, bro, this is what a full stadium feels like.
Oh my
Like,
god!
like, wait, I can't see the color of the seats right now. Like,
I didn't even know stadiums got this full.
yeah, but they've got Cincinnati week 1, which I mean is a respectable kickoff game, but I think they'll be fine there. Akron gonna dominate. Houston Christian gonna dominate. Then they play Michigan. If
Christian?
they if they beat Michigan and they start out 4-0, this Nebraska fan base is going to be absolutely atrocious
Oh,
to listen to on the socials
miserable, dude.
because
Miserable.
because if they beat Michigan, they go on to play Michigan State, crapshoot, Maryland, crapshoot, Minnesota. People are going to call us a crapshoot, but look, like we've been winning 8 games consistently, not 8, 9 games with PJ, so we'll be a tough out for him.
We're
But then
at
they've got
Nebraska, right?
no, it's
It's
here,
at home. They got to
it's
come
here,
here,
it's here.
please.
Northwestern after that, USC, UCLA, like all of those teams, none of them scare you. I mean, Minnesota and Nebraska have that mini hatred for each other. They always play competitively, so it's going to be tough. USC, maybe, but I still don't believe in the Trojans, if I'm being for real
No,
with you.
no,
UCLA,
they are the definition. USC and UCLA are believe it when I see it type
right.
situations right now.
Right. So even if you lose that Michigan game, you started out 3-0, you lose Michigan, that's 3-1. You've got Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern, USC, and UCLA as your next 6 games. Even if you went 500, which I think they would go better than 500 in that. If you go 500, you already are bowl eligible. You're at 6-4, and you've got Penn State and Iowa. So those are going to be some of your more challenging games. But I think they probably win. Of those 6 games, they probably win at least 4, maybe 5, and that's when you're talking about a 7 or 8 wins right there. So if they beat Michigan, it's going to be nasty because people are going to be talking so loud.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. I just the fan bases. I mean, good on you if you're a diehard fan, but the delusion is crazy sometimes.
Right. Again, I want to see
Like,
it first. Like at least we saw the 11-win season, and then we started to get more confident. We weren't out here just, oh
yeah,
yeah, we got 7 wins last year. We back, baby. Like no, we
every
saw the 11-win season, and we were like, oh shit, we might be all right.
I would argue every Minnesota fan, no matter how well our team does, like, and this is any sport, no matter how good we are, we never go into that next season confident like we're going to win it all. Like
Oh, we
never.
know
Like
the shoe can
I
drop
love
at
the
any moment.
Timberwolves. I love the Timberwolves, but I can't tell you I'm not nervous for next season. I'm always nervous because something's going to go wrong. That's just my life.
Right.
Like no matter what or how well our teams do. Now the Nebraska fan base is opposite. Like they go 500 and be like championship loading, championship loading
They win the off season every season. That is what
every
they
year.
do.
Yes,
They win the off season every season. But here's the thing. Like you said, we think Minnesota has a shot to go 10-2. If you play your best ball this season, you could go 10-2. But we're not out here saying, "Oh, Minnesota will be." I mean, you kind of a little bit have been like Minnesota will be 10-2,
well, I
but
mean,
it's you. But it's you. I mean,
that's me.
yeah, yeah.
What I'm going to do? Be negative? I'm not going to be
Right,
negative.
right. But overall, I'm over here like, you know what? I think that 8 is realistic for Minnesota. If they play their best, they can get to 10. If they play like Dumbos, they could hit 6. But I think no matter what, they're getting 6 wins this season. But overall, Nebraska is going to be a tough game. They look promising.
Mhm.
It's going to be smack dab in the middle of the season, right after you play Purdue. But then you've got, I think we got Iowa the week after. So at Iowa, so you really can't think about Iowa. If you start thinking about Iowa, you're going to mess around and lose to Nebraska. So overall, you got to be locked in, ready to go, and hopefully causing turnovers with Dylan Raiola. Because if you can force turnovers, you can take a win. If he is balling out and not turning the ball over, good luck.
Yeah, this is a tough spot. The schedule is it's so much more favorable for them than it is us. I'm happy we got them at home, but Gopher fans, we got to start buying those tickets
Dog, it's
because
gonna be tough too because
Nebraska fans travel like a mug. Like it is
dog,
crazy.
it's a Friday night game, so folks are gonna be at these high school games and things too. That's gonna pull away from it. And I'm not saying like, oh yeah, well, high school game's gonna pull from. Yes, because this is
No,
a family state that people
yeah,
are. Friday night is for high school, straight up. I hate when college puts these games, big games, on Friday nights because I want to be locked in. And Friday nights are for school things and things to lock up on the weekends. Saturday nights are for college football. Saturdays, I'm tapped in. I'll sit on the couch all day if I can. But Friday nights make it tough. So I hope that Minnesota fans are locked in, ready to go Friday night on Fox, and they show up because I do not want to see red all over them stands on TV. Hopefully, I'll be at the game, but I don't want to see it on the TV copy up there looking at the red dots all over, man. I can't see it.
I 100% agree with you. I hate the Friday night game, but at the same time, that Saturday after, think about the stress free we're gonna have. Like whether we win or lose, it's kind of nice to just be like, it's over with. I don't have to
See,
have that like nervous about the game, nervous about the game. I can
see,
just be like, my team already played.
you and me feel that way, but there are those tragic fans that are just pissed off all Saturday if we lose that.
Oh
Like,
yes,
if you lose
just so
Friday night, your whole weekend is gone because you're pissed off. Unless the Vikings can come back on Sunday and make your day a little bit better, you're pissed the rest of the weekend.
you
So
you got 24 hours of just anger.
it's like lock the door, don't have anybody around me because I will snap. There are those fans. It's not me, but I'll
Nope,
tell you, it is a lot of folks out here.
nope, that couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I'll get nervous before a game, but once it's over, it's over. Put on the next one. But I gotta put something on to cleanse my palate.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. All right, so then that's going to do it for us here at the Gopher Broke podcast. Next time, we will talk about the interior defensive line, and we're going to talk about the Iowa Hawkeyes. Can we get the pig back? Can we bring home the bacon? That's what we're going to talk about on next week's episode. But to wrap it up, I want to know what is your ultimate Minnesota moment at a game, on TV, what have you? What is the ultimate Minnesota moment that you just like? If you hear it, if you see a replay, if you whatever, it just brings happiness back to you.
It's got to be the Minneapolis Miracle. Like that was the most insane thing ever. The screaming, the chanting up and down, jumping up and down, and then the quiet when you're like, shit, did he step out? Did he step out? And then the re-screaming again after they show the replay that he didn't step out. That was it. The toss, the helmet toss, that
Yeah.
was electric. That was electric.
For me personally, and it's not like most people probably won't feel it, but last year being on site for the USC upset and just seeing the field get stormed and everything like that, that was awesome for me. I love that. I won't forget about it. If I have to go in general, Minnesota moment, bro, I'm gonna tell you this. I think it is Anthony Edwards saying "Bring your ass" to
Yes.
Charles Barkley on the TNT crew. And then Minnesota ran with it. Meet Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Convention Center made T-shirts, they made slogans, they made all this stuff. Bring your ass, Minnesota, bring your ass. And I was just like,
Everything
yeah,
Ant says could be clipped as a soundbite, and
yeah.
just that man's a walking billboard. He's
The
the best.
the city claimed that as like a motto for 2 weeks is Minnesota, bring your ass.
I love it. I love it.
All right, man. That's going to do it for us. We will see you next week. Until then, be sure to hit subscribe over on YouTube, follow wherever you get podcasts, leave a 5-star review, and we will see you next time. Hopefully. I mean, yeah, we'll see you next time.
We'll be there. We'll be there.